Côte d'Ivoire, destination touristique. Ok, le pont de Liage, c'est chez nous. La plus grande basilique, c'est chez nous. La paix des sirènes, c'est chez nous. La forêt du Banco, c'est chez nous. Coupé, décalé, toute saga. Encore des lions dans nos sabbats. Allons à Sini Mafia. Tu n'es pas au courant. Ok, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. C'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo. Yeri, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. C'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo. Aïe, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo.
C'est mon pays, les gens portent plus le treillis. Nous on vit dans la paix, il faut laisser la guerre, sans doit être aussi gay. C'est la chaleur ici, on dit ah quoi va. On n'est pas dans les petits, c'est pas par là. Y'a les jolis bébés, y'a les belles calois. Quand on aime ta car, on se pose.
Le pont de Liage, c'est chez nous. La plus grande basilique, c'est chez nous. La paix des sirènes, c'est chez nous. La forêt du Banco, c'est chez nous. Coupé, décalé, toute saga. Encore des lions dans nos sabbats. Allons à Sini Mafia. Tu n'es pas au courant. Ok, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. C'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo. Yeri, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. C'est zo, c'est zo, zo, c'est zo, zo, c'est zo. Aïe, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. Viens voir comment mon pays est beau. Là-bas dans le parc, ça s'entra dans le parc national de Taï. Y'a les chimpanzés, tu vois. La vie de ça, de grand bazar. Petite et grande mosquée de Gong. La réserve du Monemba avec sa piscine naturelle au sommet. Elou.
Abidjan, ville lumière, avec ses ponts qui nous envoient vers le Bariton.
C'est le bon manada, ça en godo godo. Quand tu vois, c'est les placards. Quand tu vois, c'est les foufous. Quand tu vois, c'est les gambas, poissons thon, les poulets braisés. C'est Yomi, elle qui est bon. Yo pour qu'on s'en check, qui est bon, qui est bon. À checker, tu vois, joli, joli paquet là. C'est notre patrimoine protégé.
Le dépaysement, c'est chez nous. La détente, c'est chez nous. L'hospitalité, c'est chez nous. La joie de vivre, c'est chez nous. Coupé, décalé, toute saga. Encore des lions dans nos sabbats. Allons à Sini Mafia. Tu n'es pas au courant. Ok, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. C'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo, c'est zo. Yeri, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo. C'est zo, c'est zo, zo, c'est zo, c'est zo. Aïe, Côte d'Ivoire, c'est zo.
Hi everyone, this is Brahim Ait Ouzineb.
Hi, I am Issa Ait Ouzineb.
We're here to talk to you about the fever that's taken over the world now with the African Cup of Nations happening soon. It's coming as fast as we know it. It's on the 13th of January. In this special edition, we'll talk to you about the AFCON, what's new, which are the teams, what are our predictions for the final games, and who's gonna win this tournament. It's our prediction, me and Issa, and but first of all, what's special about this edition?
Okay, so there was a change in the date that this AFCON was going to be played. So first, in 2022, they decided that it was going to be played. They decided that it was going to be played in 2024 because of concerns over the weather conditions in Ivory Coast. And the government of Ivory Coast told CAF that he wasn't wanted to put all the players in such risk. So they decided all of them to postpone it. And the 34th edition is going to be is going to have a lot of talent because there's so many young players in this generation that are going to change AFCON and all the teams that are going from least to probably the highest. And the difference between 2022 and 2023 is in the last AFCON, CAF allowed teams to have 23 players, but in this 34th edition, they allow teams to have 27 players.
Yeah, I believe it's the 34th edition?
Yeah.
Okay. So a huge discussion in Europe and in the professional teams about the players that they lose every competition. Whenever the AFCON is taking place, teams try to put pressure to have their players.
Oh yeah, they try to take their players away from their continental tournaments because they take them away from their league and their professional teams, and that's why some Europe teams now are losing their players like Mohamed Salah in Liverpool, and there are many other players like Ashraf Hakimi going away from PSG,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
I heard that there are a lot of countries or coaches that refuse to let their players go because the FIFA allows them to have the players on the 1st of January. The Moroccan coach refused to let Nsairi play for Sevilla on the 4th. There is the Cup, Super Cup in France taking place on the 3rd, and PSG requested having Hakimi for the 3rd, but the coach refused. The same thing for Amilah Salim, who played for Valencia. They request Valencia or yeah, it's for Valencia, and they requested him to play an extra game, but the coach was adamant. No, we're not letting him go. All the players have to be here on the 1st. Other countries accepted. Some players accepted. Others will be delayed.
Inaki Williams and
Yeah.
so Ghana have two players that have been delayed for playing at the start of AFCON. Ghana have Inaki Williams who plays for
Atletico Bilbao.
Atletico Bilbao and Thomas Partey who both are some very good talents on Ghana and but they will be delayed. And I know one of the reasons that Inaki Williams has been delayed. He has discomfort and otherwise will not be at ease to travel.
Yeah. So the European teams are really, putting a lot of pressure to have their players protected because they will be needed once the African Cup of Nations ends in February. The next or 3 days later, the Champions League is taking place. So Liverpool, even if they're not playing the Champions League, need their star players. They need Mohamed Salah. Many Cameroon players, many Nigerian players, Mali. All the teams have great players, and I believe that a lot of scouts will be around to watch for their players, and probably new talents will emerge from this AFCON, as has always been the case. So let's dive into the groups now and talk about who is potentially winning the African Cup of Nations. Let's start with Group A.
So let's start with predictions, or let's start with predictions for the groups, and so I just want to clear these questions out. For Group A, does Ivory Coast have enough of a home advantage to actually win the African Nations Cup? We will find out soon enough. And is Victor Osimhen still hero for Nigeria to get them far enough into the competition? Okay, and let me talk about my predictions for Group A. So I predict that a home advantage for Ivory Coast is big enough for them to land first spots in Group A. And I think Equatorial Guinea are good enough this year to get second place. And I think Osimhen will still be enough of a hero to get Nigeria into third place. Okay, so now it's time for Group B. I think I just want to get also these questions out. Is this Egypt's time for redemption after all these years? After all these years of six consecutive times without winning once and only getting into the final 3 times in these past 6 years. These past 6 AFCONs. I think that Egypt still have it in them. And will Ghana still be an upset in AFCON? even without their two star players. And okay, I think that Egypt still have the Pharaohs still have it in them, and they will be in first place. I think Ghana will still make it through the group into second place, and Mozambique will be third place. And for Group C, which I believe is the group of death, Senegal, the last winners of the African Cup of Nations, will be first place, because I think they, after winning last one, they have a lot of confidence. And I think that second will be Guinea. After what we have seen of them, their previous game, they have won South Africa 7-2. And I think that Cameroon just can't make it to second place and will be third place.
Over to Group C, D, E, and F. In Group D, we have Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Angola. As per the FIFA ranking, Algeria is number 30. They have a good squad. Everybody was waiting for them to win it in the last two editions because they have shown some great football in the World Cup. And the last, really great performances in 2014. Everybody remembers the game against Germany, and they had such amazing squad. But unfortunately, after that, they fell off and they started losing a lot of games. They participated in 19 editions of the AFCON, and the last three games they were a draw and two wins. So is the team ready for the AFCON? There has been an incident recently in the stadium that marred all the preparation for the team. Nothing has been announced about the squad, on public, but the players have already started reaching them. They have been contacted to come to the training and prepare for the AFCON, which is spite of having a great team and great talent. So that within they still have some issues, and I think that I hope for Algeria that everything works out for the best. They are expected to end in first place, of course, followed up by Burkina Faso and then Angola. The star players to watch for in this group are Brahim Ait Ouzineb from Wolverhampton. They have some good players in Burkina Faso from Leighton Town, Issa and Bertrand Traoré from AVL. And as per Angola, they are number 117 in the FIFA ranking. That means they have not scored a lot of goals, so they will be suffering, but they're a tough team to beat, and they're coming up with some good technical display. For the group, so I expect it to end, as I said, it's Algeria, Burkina Faso, then Angola in third place, and Mauritania sadly going off. Mauritania have been toying with the AFCON for the fourth time, I guess they'll be playing. And my bad. It's the second edition they'll be participating in. So, but they are learning. They are on the right path, as the president of the federation was saying. For the group E, it's Mali, Tunisia, South Africa, and Namibia. That's a tough one as well. Namibia are like 115 in FIFA ranking, but we the games in Africa have shown that being ranked 115 does not mean anything, because Namibia can be a very hard piece to break for the other teams. Tunisia, Mali, and South Africa have been at it for a long time in the previous editions. Tunisia are really good. They know how to play competitions. Same thing goes for Mali. Mali are on the podium for Africa in all the youth teams, and the first squad have always had issues in the AFCON. They go to the semifinal, they go to the quarterfinals easily, but then they never make it past that. But even though, this said, I still believe that Mali is gonna win the group, followed by South Africa and then Tunisia. South Africans have produced some real good games recently, and they have drawn and won and lost the last 3 games. They are number 66 in the ranking of FIFA, but they have some young generation of players. The next group and the last one has the only team that played the semifinal of the World Cup, Morocco, and have some good players like Amin Adli coming from Leverkusen in Germany, coached by Xavi Alonso, and he has been a substitute. But whenever he plays for Morocco, he has a lot of energy and he adds a lot to the team on the wing. The second team is Democratic Republic of Congo. They have played Morocco in the last World Cup qualifier and they lost. After producing a good game against Morocco. The third team is Zambia. Zambia with Morocco in the qualifiers for the and the last team is Tanzania. The Morocco played it already in the World Cup qualifiers and they won, I believe, 2-0 in Tanzania in Dar es Salaam. Now the first game of Morocco will be against Tanzania again. Well, for this group, I think that it's gonna be a tough for playing against Congo and Zambia, but Morocco will end up first in the group, followed by Zambia, then Democratic Republic of Congo. That's our reading of the groups. It's not. It's the coach of Morocco said that it's going to be one of the intense AFCONs ever. The Ivory Coast has prepared well for this tournament. Their stadiums are spot on, and people are waiting. The people have been complaining about the rent issues because fewer houses, especially in small cities, but the locals are trying to figure, and the rent prices have gone high, but that's not gonna stop the fans from traveling over to help their teams, especially the ones where the countries are close to Ivory Coast.
Okay, so now me and Brahim are going to talk about our predictions for the final rounds of AFCON 24.
Yeah.
Okay, so first we're gonna say that Algeria and Mozambique are gonna play each other, and we say that Algeria is going to win 1-0.
I don't know. I can't tell what the score. That's soccer. It's unpredictable. So the next game is Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea. That's first one. It's gonna be Guinea who goes through.
And Ivory Coast versus Cameroon is such an interesting game, but we think with the home advantage, that Ivory Coast will find an opening and win their game against Cameroon.
Next game is Ghana versus Zambia, and it's gonna be Zambia for us.
Zambia have shown some great talent, and we think that they will be able to pull Ghana. And we think that Egypt versus Nigeria, such an interesting game, but we think that Nigeria are going to end Egypt's dream from there.
Yeah, we know that Egypt has not been, as you said, for 6 editions. They didn't win. They went to the final, I guess.
Final 3 times.
Yeah, they couldn't make it. The next game is Senegal versus Democratic Republic of Congo. It's going to be Senegal, of course, with all the stars. I don't think that Sadio Mane is going to let, go of the final again. They would have to be in the final. Senegal with the loads of talents that they have now.
I think so. Mali and Burkina Faso. We think that Mali is going to be able to pull out a win.
Mm-hmm. The next game is Morocco versus South Africa. South Africa has won Morocco in a friendly game recently, and it was not a friendly game. It was a group stage for the African Cup Nations. Morocco has already qualified, but still, it was a very, disputed game, and South Africa ended heads over Morocco with a good display. But this game, it's AFCON. Morocco has just come back from the World Cup, so they have to leave a good impression. I think they're gonna win this one even by tight difference. Does not matter.
So now it's Guinea versus Algeria. I think that Algeria, with Mahrez really trying his best now, we think that Mahrez really trying his best now against Guinea because Algeria knows that they are a dangerous team to look out for, and I think Algeria will win.
Yeah. Algeria has produced a good play against the teams of the sub-Saharan, and they have shown many times that they could beat them up. The tight play, because as long as the coach Belmadi is there, the team is under his grip, and they are producing good cohesive play that would make any other team suffer. The next one is Zambia versus Ivory Coast. Zambia, if they reach the quarterfinals, they're really dangerous, and they can be a good upset to Ivory Coast. But Ivory Coast, if they get to the stage as well, all the games from now on are really tough to predict. So, but we go with Ivory Coast because of the history of the team. I remember Zambia winning the AFCON with Hervé Renard, who went on to coach Saudi Arabia, Morocco, take them to the World Cup in 2018, and then Saudi Arabia in the latest game were the only ones that beat Lionel Messi.
Yeah, and I think that Mali versus Senegal in the quarterfinals, that will be such a amazing, and it would be a war to win that game. But as you said, Senegal with the laws of talent, we think that Senegal will win against Mali.
Over to the next one. Leading to the semifinals, it's Morocco versus Nigeria. Nigeria, Osimhen came to Morocco and took the best player of the year.
Yeah.
And he had an amazing season with Napoli, and he helped the team win the Calcio, and we all know in Italy that the Calcio stands for the World Cup. You can win the Calcio, don't win the Champions League, don't win the World Cup, but the Calcio is very important, especially for football lovers that are, the Napoli fans. So Osimhen is on cloud number 9, but the Moroccans have a lot to prove in this edition. They have not won the African Cup of Nations since 1976. And with this generation, they'd better win it. They better make it at least to the final, to the semifinals, or the final, why not? But that's going to be a tough one. We think, again, that Morocco will make it because, we never know how the competition progresses, how many injuries they will have. We know that the injuries cost them a lot in the World Cup, but I believe that the coach is ready for this, and he prepared his squad for this, and he has 27 players. He has such a good depth of the substitutes, so it's going to be a win for Morocco to advance to the semifinal. Now we move to the semifinals.
Okay, so for this game, whenever these two teams play against each other, it's absolutely crazy. It's a war, and Algeria versus Morocco.
It's not a war. It's a competition. The 2nd of February.
What do we think that's gonna end?
Well, from the latest games, and from the performance of the players, I think that Morocco has, an advantage, but we don't know yet. The Algeria has a lot of new talents that were introduced into the squad. We don't know how they will fit. If they get to the semifinal, that means the team has had the enough practice to play together. If they make it this far, they're very dangerous. And It's gonna be penalties. It's gonna be one or the other. Of course, it's soccer, so tiny mistakes or small details will make the decision in this game. It can be one way or the other. I know that there is a derby. It's between two teams that, I mean, no one would like to lose this game, even in 1,000 years. It's really, really hard to predict this one, but we go with our guts. It's gonna be Morocco. So I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, tomorrow. I think too that if Algeria actually make it this far, then they will be one of the teams to look out for in these world. So if Algeria make it this far in the semifinals, and then they lose to Morocco, that would still be a big impact on the World Cup qualifiers, because then they would have confidence to go in and play their groups. And I think that, yeah, I agree with you that Morocco will have a win in the end. So now we go to the second semifinal of Senegal versus Ivory Coast.
Yeah. The people in Ivory Coast would not expect less than winning the cup. So Senegal have, I mean, they thrive when there is competition, when there is high competition. As I said before, it's a competition, it's a month. And when players stay together for a month, a lot of issues appear. I mean, living together for 1 month is not that easy to I mean, to go through. And it depends really on how the Cisse, the coach of Senegal, has been doing a good job with his squad, and he knows his players so well. The Virud, I guess, is the coach of Ivory Coast. He has been under a lot of criticism. If he doesn't pull that one through, it's gonna be, I mean, a big loss for Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast are hosting the competition, so they hope to go through at least to the final. It's the same one as the first game. It's just tiny details that would make the difference. Whoever scores will get a grip of the game, but my gut goes with Ivory Coast. Yeah, even if it's not about hosting, it's the semi-final, so you'll have to put 200% of your energy in there. I don't know if who would have juice by then to carry on. It depends on your bench. They have great, I mean, substitutes to do merge in and take the game forward. Uh, from what I've seen, Ivory Coast have got a lot to lose, so they will be putting it all in this game, and they will go through to the final.
Yeah, and I know one player that currently plays with Ronaldo and Al Nassr that will play in this African Nations Cup. It's Fofana, and he is good during these pressure situations, and he has an amazing style of playing soccer. And I think that if he can, and I think that if he can show enough, that if he and the players that have played with Ivory Coast for a long time now can show enough leadership to the young players to win this to win this semifinal against Senegal, I think that will happen. So, yeah.
Over to the final.
This is the most interesting game of the whole AFCON.
Yeah, this is the game of the 10th February. 10th February. Is it the 10th or? Yeah, it's the 11th. The 11th. Yeah. The third rank game will be Algeria versus Senegal.
I I personally think that Senegal, after losing to Ivory Coast, really want a chance to just get their nation into third place and fight strong enough to get them into third place. But Algeria are have a lot of players a lot of players that have been added to the squad, and if they really make it to semifinal, I think that they will pull out a win against Senegal.
So it's gonna be Algeria for you. Yeah. Okay. Let's go with Algeria. I move now to the final. It's gonna be Morocco and Ivory Coast. The latest game between the two was a draw, 1-1 in one of the stadiums of the AFCON. But for the final, the Moroccans have fought to the bone in the World Cup, and they know that they have a lot at stake. A lot of observers say that Morocco will not win this one. They will just go out, maybe in semifinal, maybe in the quarterfinals, maybe in the second round, because they are planning to win their own World Cup in the next edition, 2025, which will be, happening in Morocco. That's what the edition that they're aiming for. But I think that the squad are still have this positive energy going on. The squad didn't change much. We learned recently that only, 11 players have gone up the list. And the coach is giving more space to talents like Zuzi, who plays in Bologna, and Thiago Motta, and Amir Richardson, who plays for Reims.
I think that the coach, Walid Regragui, has let some space for young talents from the U17 team after 23 U23 team after them winning their U23 African Nations Cup in Morocco. I think that he knows that there will be a lot of good talent on there that can change the whole team, like Saibad. So this is the our predictions for the final of AFCON.
When is it taking place?
It's taking place on February the 11th, and this is the 34th edition of AFCON. For me, goes to Ivory Coast because I think they have a lot of players with talent, even if some of them are old. They still have a final lap for them to go through in AFCON. So, and some of those players are Kessie, Zaha, Fofana, Pepe, Aurier, Haller, Bamba, Nidinka, and Diallo. And what are we?
These guys are talents, but they're old, I believe. Kessie is 28. He's playing in Saudi Arabia. The only talent you have there is Bamba. He has shown a lot of potential against Morocco. Seriously. Aurier. He played for PSG. He played for Tottenham. Now he's done. He's an old man now. Pepe is not playing anymore. He's a substitute. I believe, and I don't know how many players will be still fit after 28 days of playing. And we know that the African teams do not get along. As the competition gets longer, they start having problems. But on the other side, on my side, Morocco's side, we have a lot of real young talents, 22, 21. We have Richardson, we have Saibari, we have... So I believe that Morocco have a lot and lots of talents, young talents, that will make them win this one. And they have just, as you said earlier, they have just won the AFCON under 23. So they practiced playing it with African teams, and they know what it takes to win games against African teams. They play tough games against Senegal and against Mali, and yet they pull that through. So I believe that Morocco will be winning this one. It will be the second one, a historical one. And the icing on the cake is in 2025, Morocco will be hosting the championship. So that would be a chance to win for a third row, which would very, very ambitious, I believe. But with what Morocco has achieved recently in all spheres, that should be, what the bookmakers said, Morocco will win this one. But it's going to be a tough one. As the coach of Morocco said, it's one of the most disputed and, full of talents edition. But it's going to go Morocco's way. I'm sorry for you, Ivory Coast. You're hosting the edition. You are very hospitable. You have amazing fish. But it's going to go Morocco. So for me, it's gonna be Morocco. We'll meet again on the 11th February or just after the AFCON to do another episode just to see how the odds played. We were right. What was wrong? How did the competition go? What are the emerging talents that we saw on the games? Right. So see you guys, and at the end of mid-February. Do you have any closing words? Ivory Coast?
Thanks for watching our predictions and for AFCON 2024. We hope that you have a wonderful AFCON and a wonderful new year of 2024.
Yeah, I'm back at you. It's Happy New Year for 2024, full of a lot of soccer, a lot of fun, and lots of joy. What's theirs?
وليد الرقراقي ناري ناري ونحي وزياش والدراري ياسين بونو ولد بلادي وهذا شكون سجل عليه سايس في الدفاع خطو ثابت حكيمي مزراوي والمرابط يوسف نصيري طالع هابط وهذا شكون يقدر عليه